Okay.
So I'm not sure what you can see. Well, a little closer.
Okay.
I think you can see Ted and I both. Now behind us somewhere is the mountain. So it's extremely fog and cloud laden in, and what we're going to do is go inside and talk a little bit about conditions and different aspects of snowboarding and winter sports. So you can't see us outside. You certainly can't see the boards or what's happening. So basically I asked Ted to say a number of things he might see in beginning and intermediate riders that seem to be consistent in how they operate their board, meaning how they stand on it and how they use it, and things that they don't do with equipment. You're up.
Okay. Well, one of these discussions is you go out on the mountain and the beginners will come out, and if they don't have, and they haven't figured out where edges are, they're not into that. What everybody knows is if you point, or they find it out pretty quick, you point the nose downhill and you balance yourself, you go. And that seems like, oh, that seems like snowboarding. And then we tell people, no, the object, what you need to do to control the board is be able to turn it. You need to understand where the fall line is.
Okay.
You have to understand how the snow's behaving. There's a whole bunch of things else to understand.
Okay, so on what Ted said, he talked about being in the fall line going straight. Yes, there is a time and a place for that, and that is on the lower part of the mountain. So all of you take your friends up to the top of the bunny hill, tell them to point it straight and go, will end up being Gumby. Gumby is a little spongy guy that was in the cartoons that used to fold and twist and bend all over, and those actions are exactly what we see day in and day out on the bunny hill and on the green runs by people who do not understand where they belong.
As they bounce off the snow.
As they bounce off the snow. But they're young, and they laugh, and they say, well, that was great, that was fun. I go, oh my God, that must have hurt. But it doesn't seem to bother them. So then they get up, and they try to stand on the snowboard, and Ted talked about standing on the snowboard and turning it. So when you are standing on a snowboard looking uphill, where are you leaning?
You're probably leaning uphill.
Probably, or should be.
Or should be.
Because when you lean downhill, you're going over that heel edge, and you're going to get the fly swatter.
Yes.
It'll get your attention.
And that's called a high side fall, and those hurt a lot.
So when you're looking down the mountain and your belly button is facing downhill, where do you lean?
You're leaning on your heel edge.
Which is still uphill. And those two words, that one word, uphill.
Yes.
While you're on an uphill edge or moving to an uphill edge, you probably can slice and dice with it.
You can control
But when you change your posture and lose your ability to stay above the snowboard in a straight body line, which we call alignment to the tip and tail, then you're good to go.
Yeah.
So
and without that, you're pitching somewhere. And as somebody who's watching it, I can watch the snow build up on that edge before that person eventually.
Well, I know that we see the snow building up on the edge.
We see it
long before they do, and then when they finally see it, it's too late. They're going over the front bars.
And in addition to that, if they go in and they look down, they help it to happen. So,
yes, because they're no longer leaning uphill.
They're no longer got the uphill edge.
On the idea of uphill and downhill, going downhill should be done on the lower part of the mountain. Going across the hill should be done on a side hill coming across. We're going straight still, but we're going straight, going across, able to hold an uphill edge.
Able to hold an uphill edge, and it's like, yes, you need to be able to cut across the fall line.
So that would be a transverse type line.
And it should be with a pitch that you can manage.
Yes, so
You don't want to have a pitch that's too
you don't want to have a
high.
changing pitch.
Yeah.
Correct. So those are basically the principles of learning to snowboard. We hope you guys understand and can see that. You can look back at videos we put out about reference and alignment and feet and everything.